have crossed into Israel and captured 2 more Israeli soldiers. Israel responded by sending planes and tanks 7 miles into Lebanon. At least 8 Israelis have been killed in the operation. So far, the terrorists have refused to release the Israeli soldiers. Lara Logan is at the border again tonight. Lara.
Good evening, Bob. Well, the Israeli army has told CBS News that their operations inside Lebanon are still ongoing because they're still trying to retrieve the bodies of 4 Israeli soldiers who were killed there. And Israel's political leaders have told their people to prepare themselves for difficult days ahead. For the first time in 6 years, Israeli troops were fighting on Lebanese soil in major combat operations. On the hunt for 2 Israeli soldiers captured in the surprise attack by Hezbollah guerrillas that began early Wednesday. Guerrilla fighters crossed the border and ambushed an Israeli patrol, killing 3 soldiers and capturing 2 who were wounded. Israel sent armored vehicles into Lebanon on a rescue mission, but one of their tanks hit a large mine, killing the 4 soldiers inside. That sparked a major ground battle. Another Israeli soldier was killed as they tried to retrieve their dead. Israel launched attacks from the sea and air as well, sending warplanes into Lebanon.
Israel has no other alternative but to defend itself and its citizens. Israel expects also the international community to act. We are fighting back in order to fight for peace.
They targeted bridges, roads, and Hezbollah positions, trying to prevent the captured soldiers being moved deeper into Lebanon. Lebanese officials said 2 civilians were killed in the attacks that literally sent people running for cover. The Israeli army defended their actions.
Every target is legitimate in Lebanon right now.
The guerrilla operation had been planned for 5 months, according to Hezbollah leader Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, who said it was the only way to force Israel into releasing Arab prisoners. This was the second disaster for Israel's military in just over 2 weeks after Palestinian militants captured an Israeli corporal last month. And Israel's military leaders will have to answer for this in the months ahead, Bob.
Where is this going, Lara?
Well, the Israeli cabinet met this evening. They have approved more military action in Lebanon, primarily airstrikes. And there's talk now of a possible call-up for thousands of Israeli army reservists because Israel is essentially fighting on 2 fronts, both in Lebanon and Gaza. You know, some people here say that this could provide Israel with a legitimate opportunity to take action against Hezbollah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Lara. Our 60 Minutes correspondent Bob Simon has been covering this story for more than 2 decades. To add some perspective now, he's going to join us from Tel Aviv. Bob, these are 2 separate groups. Hamas is what the Israelis have been fighting in the Gaza, but now Hezbollah coming in from Lebanon. Are these 2 groups working together, or is this something that happened separately?
Bob, they are separate organizations entirely. Hamas is from Gaza. It's Palestinian. Hezbollah is from Lebanon. It is Lebanese. In fact, Hezbollah is a Shiite organization, and Hamas is a Sunni organization, and we know how different that is from Iraq. But they have very similar aims. They are both radical Islamic organizations dedicated to the elimination of Israel from the map.
It's very different, isn't it, than other conflicts in that in this war they seem to be going back to the same battlefields over and over.
Over and over. When you think about it, there's no such thing as a withdrawal in this part of the world, Bob. When we fought in Vietnam, when the Vietnam War was over, we left, and that was the end of it. Here, the Israelis pulled out of Gaza a year ago. They pulled out of Lebanon 6 years ago after an 18-year involvement, and here they are being dragged back into old battlefields. Nothing has changed. Same enemies, same battlefields, same war.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bob. India said today at least 200 people were killed and more than 700 wounded in yesterday's commuter train bombings in the city of Mumbai, which used to be called Bombay. Investigators are going through the shattered rail cars, searching for evidence that might lead to the terrorists who did it. But even as the first victims were being buried, Indian workers were back on the trains headed for their jobs today. In Iraq, gunmen took 24 Shiites from a bus station and killed 20 of them today. A suicide bomber blew himself up in a Baghdad restaurant, killing 8 and wounding 30. And Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld visited U.S. troops in Iraq. He said it is too early now to predict when the number of Americans serving in Iraq might start to come down. The Veterans Administration says more than 50,000 veterans of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars are suffering from mental health problems, half of them from what was called shell shock in World War II, what is now called post-traumatic stress disorder. Our chief investigative correspondent, Armin Katayan, went to Fort Carson, Colorado recently to see how the Army is handling this problem. Here's part 2 of his series, The Mind of a Soldier.
The 2nd Brigade Combat Team here in Fort Carson, Colorado is training to go back to Iraq.
Fall in. Hey!
After experiencing some of the fiercest combat last year, losing soldiers at double the rate of other Army posts around the country, including the suicide of Private First Class Sam Lee at a Ramadi Army barracks.
As he was going outside, that's pretty much when I came in the room and saw him fire on himself.
The second round actually came by and just missed my head and hit my weapon, so my weapon was done, so I had to use his weapon. And I mean, I got it with his blood on it still. And
Privates Tyler Jennings and Corey Davis told us that surreal scene, among many others, led to nightmares, flashbacks, anxiety attacks, classic symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD.
I had panic attacks. I had it all set up. I was going to hang myself.
In this recent report, more than 1/3 of the Iraq War veterans sought help for mental health problems, including PTSD, within a year of returning home. While this report from a congressional watchdog group detailed failures by the Department of Defense to identify and deal with anxiety issues like PTSD. Yet in the face of what some are calling an epidemic of PTSD in the military, nearly a dozen soldiers here at Fort Carson told us their cries for mental help either went unanswered or they found themselves subject to unrelenting abuse and ridicule.
I think it's a very big problem.
Kay Barron is a clinical psychologist in private practice in Colorado Springs.
Did you get into trouble?
She counsels up to 25 emotionally broken soldiers a week,
You saw the worst in humanity.
either unwilling or unable to face their problems while on base.
Well, they could potentially lose their promotion potential or just feeling like they're not able to advance in their career, that it's kind of over for them.
Their careers could be scuttled, stopped in their tracks.
Right.
Are you concerned that soldiers fearing ridicule and reprisal are not seeking help?
Well, it's a tremendous concern. You don't want a soldier not to seek help for anything. They're our number one asset. And leaders have to engage that every day. And in my experience here, we do.
Colonel Kruger says the Army offers ample means to get help for PTSD without jeopardizing one's career.
How you doing, sir?
Like this comprehensive screening program where soldiers are asked to answer questions about their mental state.
You take the step.
right,
You fill out the boxes.
did the right thing because I knew I needed help.
A cry for help.
Right, exactly.
And nobody hears
No,
it.
there was no answers, nothing. Yeah, these are all Army accommodations.
Today, Davis, like Jennings, has seen a once promising career upended, demoted to private for drug abuse, what experts say is a common coping mechanism for those suffering from the disorder. Both face dishonorable discharges. Forced to seek treatment off base, both have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Like so many soldiers, they feel deserted by the Army they once so proudly served. Armin Katayan, CBS News, Fort Carson, Colorado.
And coming up next on the CBS Evening News, we'll take you to the front lines of what's become one of the hottest political battles of the year.
With 3,800 students and a staff of 200, Carol is a formidable woman. But she was no match for something smaller than the point of a pencil. It knocked her out so fast she didn't know what hit her. It was a clot. Like Carol, if you've been hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS, chances are you've had a clot. But now, Carol's doctor is helping increase Carol's protection against heart attack and stroke by putting her on Plavix. Plavix, in combination with aspirin and other heart medicines, helps provide greater protection against heart attack and stroke than aspirin and other heart medicines alone by helping keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you shouldn't use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. To minimize this risk, talk to your doctor before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Ask your doctor about Plavix today, because no matter how formidable you are, you're no match for a dangerous clot.
Lincoln Mercury has some of America's hottest selling new models. And to celebrate, every 2006 Mercury car, SUV, and minivan has the hottest deals of the summer during the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance. Get the 32 MPG Milan, winner of the Best Midsize Car Award. Now lease Milan with 0 first month's payment, 0 down, and 0 cash due at $257 a month. Don't miss the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance.
So, we go to this new place. The waiter says, try this, you'll like it. What is it? Try it, you'll like it. So what did I do? I ate it all. Took Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer dissolves stomach discomfort and pain.
What?
Now, the Hall of Fame eye drop. New Clear Eyes, triple action relief. It gets redness, dryness, irritation out. A triple play. Wow, new triple action relief. 3-way relief from Clear Eyes.
There's a ton of multivitamins out there. Which one do you choose? Centrum rises to the top. Centrum balances combinations of nutrients to help them work to their full potential. Like C recharges E to optimize antioxidant power and help maintain immunity. With 8 interactive combinations that help your body get more out of Centrum. There's a lot to choose from. And then there's Centrum. Centrum is balanced and the most complete from A to Zinc.
With gasoline prices rising by the day now, Americans have been pressuring Congress to do something about it. Well, today, Congress did something unexpected. From Capitol Hill, Cheryl Atkinson. Cheryl?
Bob, with gas hovering about $3 a gallon, this may be the biggest thing your Congress does all year in response. Today, the Senate announced a surprise deal to open up new areas in the Gulf of Mexico to drilling for oil and natural gas. The area we're talking about holds more than 1 billion barrels of crude oil and more than 5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. Florida senators insisted on a 125-mile protection zone. They want to make sure there's no drilling near their tourist coast. Also, Gulf states would share in the riches, getting 37.5% of revenues. That's potentially billions of dollars. It can take years to actually bring up the oil and gas, but things could move fast. If the House and Senate pass this bill quickly and it becomes law, we're told those leases are ready to go immediately. Bob?
Right. Thank you, Cheryl. Congress failed this year to pass a constitutional amendment that would ban same-sex marriage. The battle has now moved to the only state where it is legal, but where, if opponents have their way, it won't be for long. From Boston tonight, here's national correspondent Byron Pitts.
For believers on both sides, today was a day of protest. It's all about their Constitution and the fight to overturn gay marriage in Massachusetts. Chris Minow is leading that fight.
How did it get to this point? This is liberal Massachusetts. This state resolved this issue 2 years ago.
No, I would beg to differ on that. It wasn't resolved. That's just the issue. It was done by judicial fiat, by 4 unelected judges who we feel just arbitrarily decided to change the definition of marriage.
Since that court ruling, some 8,000 gay and lesbian couples here have exchanged wedding vows, legally married. Advocates had hoped it was the start of another Massachusetts revolution.
At stake is marriage equality.
Mark Solomon and his group, Mass Equality, have flooded state lawmakers with petitions to keep gay marriage legal.
At stake is not adding discrimination to the Constitution of Massachusetts.
Minow says the 170,000 people who signed his petition would disagree.
And the children of this Commonwealth are already radically affected because kindergarten and first graders that are being indoctrinated into the homosexual lifestyle and into homosexual marriage.
You say that as if homosexuality is something evil.
homosexuality is not the best standard for human sexuality.
For supporters of gay marriage nationwide, this proposed amendment in Massachusetts couldn't come at a worse time. Much of that momentum, first generated here a few years ago, now seems headed the other way. 19 states have already adopted a constitutional ban on gay marriage. 6 more could have it on their ballot this November.
People's fundamental rights should never be voted on. If people's fundamental rights were voted on, where would African Americans in the South be today? Where would religious minorities be today? Where would women be today?
So for those who say gay marriage is here to stay in the Commonwealth, you say?
Let's vote on it.
And the campaigns have begun. If passed, the proposed amendment would be voted on Election Day 2008. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Boston.
And still ahead, a threat to America's wine industry. Could it wipe it out? We'll have the story next.
Hey, you feel like going out?
I'm bloated, irregular.
Probably stress from exams. And look how it makes us eat.
So how come you're okay?
I eat Activia every day.
Introducing smooth, delicious Dannon Activia. With the natural culture Bifidus regularis, it's clinically proven to help naturally regulate your digestive system in 2 weeks.
It's good. I feel great.
Help naturally regulate your digestive system in 2 weeks.
Now let's get out of here.
Pop quiz. What compact sedan gets up to 34 miles per gallon, has more power and space than Corolla, and starts under $12,000? Is it A, the Kia Spectra, B, the Kia Spectra, C, the Kia Spectra, or D, all of the above? Correct. You picked the Kia Spectra, and with the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, there really is no other choice. Starts under $12,000 after cash back. The award-winning Kia Spectra, the best value on the road.
Red eye's making a bad impression. There's a Visine for that.
What's wrong?
Upset about eye allergies. There's a Visine for that.
Beautiful. Move it, shake it,
Eyes dried out. There's a Visine for that. For over 40 years, Visine has been the eye expert. So no matter what your eye irritation, red, itch, dry, or even contacts, there's a Visine for that.
Part of you is afraid to treat your menopausal symptoms. Part of you is afraid not to. That's why there's nomenopause.com, the website with information to help you. Because part of you has heard different things about hormone therapy and finds it confusing, while the other part just wants relief. Check out nomenopause.com today. Your whole self will know a whole lot more. nomenopause.com.
Ricky, are you ready for one of my famous burgers?
Trudy, are you cooking hockey pucks?
It's all about summer, the 4th of July, the All-American Cookout, and saving money. We're celebrating America's birthday all month long with our red, white, and blue sale. The biggest selection of Serta mattresses and interest-free financing.
Now it's time for my famous roasted marshmallows.
Trudy, I hate to tell you this, but you used up all the fire on the roasted hockey burgers.
No problem, Ricky. Hold this.
It's the red, white, and blue sale featuring Serta at all furniture outlet locations.
You're looking at one of the most important books in the world. In it are 38 of a certain writer's finest plays, and it could be yours tomorrow, auctioning Shakespeare to the highest bidder. So hark, how much would you pay for the real deal? We'll show you just how much it goes for. See why more people are watching the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
It's turning out to be a bad summer for wildfires. In the West tonight, 8 states are battling flames fed by dry heat and wind. In the Southern California desert, fire has burned 26,000 acres and forced at least 1,000 people to evacuate. In Pioneer Town, the backdrop for many old Hollywood westerns, some 30 homes were destroyed, but historic buildings there were spared. To the north, in the California wine country, winemakers depend on climate that's just right for grapes. Well, now a new study says the industry is facing a threat from global warming. Here is John Blackstone.
So crucial is the climate to success in the Napa Valley. This is what we call freckled light. That vineyard owners like Andy Beckstoffer plant every row of vines to take best advantage of the sun.
So the sun is moving on the hottest day right down this row. Rather than hitting it on the side and sunburning it, it will go right down this row.
Weather that is too hot or too cold can mean disaster. At the Mondavi winery, Jean-Vieve Janssens is always concerned about the forecast. As a winemaker, how much do you worry about the weather?
A lot. It's my boss. I always say that.
Now, new research says global warming threatens to make the Napa Valley too hot to make fine wine. Noah Diffenbaugh worked on the climate study.
We're witnessing global environmental change in process, and we're trying to understand it as it's occurring.
The study says extremely hot days, over 95 degrees, could become common in wine country in the next 60 years. That would wipe out not just Napa, but most of California's premium wine regions. Across the country, global warming could destroy more than 80% of the best vineyards. Andy Beckstoffer has no doubt global warming is coming, but says science is already producing hardier grape stock and new ways to irrigate to resist hotter weather.
In the Napa Valley, the land is worth so much and the grapes are worth so much, we can afford anything that makes sense.
Perhaps it should be no surprise that the Napa Valley is greeting the threat of global warming with a certain, well, sunny optimism. This, after all, is a place where the glass is always half full. John Blackstone, CBS News, the Napa Valley.
A lot of French wine set aside for celebrating when unopened Sunday after the French soccer star Zinedine Zidane was tossed out of the World Cup for headbutting an Italian opponent. Today, Zidane apologized to his fans, especially the children.
Je m'excuse auprès de tous les enfants et de toutes les personnes qui ont vu ce geste parce que c'est.
He also said he does not regret his action because he was provoked. Zidane says the Italian player repeatedly insulted his mother and his sister. Without him on the field, the French lost the final. Coming up next, the Rodney Dangerfield of American currency. Why the penny gets no respect.
Terracotta.
Stone.
Bermuda.
York's new Affinity Series air conditioning systems are sleek, quiet, and efficient.
Jet black.
And they come in a choice of colors that are as distinctive as you are.
Champagne.
Because people like color. The new beautiful Affinity Series from York.
Everyone loves to hang out at your house. But when they gotta go, don't get caught with an empty roll. Get Charmin Mega Roll. It's 4 times the sheets in one. And it fits with the Charmin Extender. Mega Roll. Charmin.
The superior hold of Fix-It and Control, now combined with a blast of scope flavor for fresh breath. New Fix-It and Control plus scope flavor.
I've been reporting the news for a long time, so I think I know a little about journalism. Come September, I'll be back in Washington on my regular beat. But the anchor chair will be in good hands because my friend Katie Couric will be here. Just watch.
Excuse me, Dr. Z, a quick question. What have been the benefits of the merger between Daimler-Benz and Chrysler?
Okay, get in. Clearly, we have successfully combined the best in American and German engineering and design.
You might want to slow down just a tad.
For example, the Dodge Charger suspension originated in Germany. Since inventing the 4x4 SUV, we've improved Jeep fuel economy, and we are building a flex fuel Commander and Grand Cherokee. Plus the world's cleanest diesel, not to mention 32 highway miles per gallon with state-of-the-art 4-cylinder technology. The result? Better quality, performance, capability, and vehicles like this Chrysler Pacifica with the most safety and security features in its class.
Are you really a doctor?
Any more questions?
No. I'm good.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Get employee pricing plus 0% financing on 2006 Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge vehicles. If not satisfied, simply return it within 30 days.
You've won $1 million in the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes.
You've won.
No. Yes.
Would you like to be a Publishers Clearinghouse winner tomorrow?
Oh, boy.
Now you can, because there's a new winner every day.
I never knew it'd come true.
You could even win $1 million before the summer's over.
God answered my prayers.
Go to PCH.com. Enter today, win tomorrow.
And I think you're wasting your time on the computer.
Or watch your mail and enter at once.
I thought it was a gimmick, but it ain't.
This is the summer for you to win.
Tomorrow, your votes decide who makes it out of the living room. Don't miss our exclusive series, Living Room Live, tomorrow on The Early Show.
There is a move underway in Congress to do away with the penny for the simple reason that the price of metal has gone up and it now costs more than a penny to make one. Well, here's the hard part. Could we tell that story without resorting to puns like it doesn't make sense or cliches like a penny for your thoughts? Well, we nearly did. Here's Sharon Alfonsi.
Every year, the Treasury makes 7 billion pennies, and it ends up costing taxpayers a mint. Because of spiking metal prices, it now costs 1.3 cents to make a penny. So the mint loses $70 million a year on a coin destined for the change jar. An estimated 60% of pennies end up out of service.
You can't use it in a parking meter. You can't use it in a telephone machine. You can't use it in a vending machine.
So Congressman Jim Colby says keeping the penny just doesn't make sense.
It simply has outlived its purpose.
He's pushing a bill to chuck the penny for good. And that upsets pro-penny lobbyist Mark Weller.
It's a veritable part of our commercial fabric.
He talks about the little Lincoln.
It's never had support below 60%.
Like Lincoln's actually still alive. Of course, if he wasn't dead.
We're bringing power back to the penny. Yee!
This might have killed him. The latest spokesman for the Virgin Mobile Save the Penny campaign, Kevin Federline, better known as Mr. Britney Spears.
Man, I feel good about the penny.
Unfortunately, other people don't seem to share K-Fed's excitement. Look what happened when we sent CBS producer Mike Noble with an undercover camera to try to pay for a slice of pizza.
How much is a cheese slice?
With pennies.
That's something we don't use pennies. Thank you. Really don't use.
Eventually, they did let Mike use them.
It's money, right? I mean, that's all I have. I could feel him gritting his teeth a little bit.
He was ready to kick you out.
I think he was on the verge of kicking me out.
He got his slice and a few choice words in Italian.
It didn't sound like he was saying what a great guy I was.
At a hot dog stand, the clerks were laughing as Mike counted away.
It was 95 cents. I only got to about 83 cents, and they said, all right, that's enough.
And still, most people say they want to save the coin. We may be annoyed with the penny, but it turns out what we really can't deal with is change. Sharon Alfonsi, CBS News, New York.
Don't you love those hidden cameras and all that investigative reporting? That's the news. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies accept all Medicare prescription drug plans. And at the Walmart price, you get a great value for your prescription dollars. See why more people are watching the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience CBS News.